Welcome to the second part of this WordPress video, and in the first part we got to learn or we got introduced to WordPress and how we could install XAMPP on our laptop, and then how we could install WordPress too. Now in this particular video we're going to look at the WordPress dashboard. As you can see right now, we're going to look at the WordPress. So I'm going to just talk about few of these things you're seeing here. I'm going to talk about them. And then in the process of talking about this sidebar on the dashboard, I'm also going to be working on something. As you see, we're going to work on something. So the dashboard displays the home page. The dashboard displays the home page. If you click on my site, let me just click on this and opening a new tab, it will load your site. So how your site is looking like is what you will see here. So if you are building with WordPress and you want to see the output or what your site looks like as you're building, all you have to do is just click on here, visit site, and you wait to see. Now what you're seeing right now is just the default. When I installed WordPress, this is just the default thing you're going to see and all. So that's why you're seeing this. As you can see here, design with WordPress. So this is a default. So by the time we start working on this website, you will begin to see the changes here. All right, so let's begin. So the home, you've seen the home already. So the home is basically this WordPress dashboard environment, right? So that's the home. Updates here. What updates do here is that if you have when you install your plugins, when you install your themes, you're going to see updates here. So if you're, let's say we're working with a particular plugin or you're working with a particular theme on the WordPress, and then there's an update for that theme or for that plugin, you're going to see it in the update section, right? Now also, if there is an update made to your WordPress, because WordPress has updates, right? Just like every other applications, every now and then there's always there's bound to be updates on the WordPress application. So right now the current version of this WordPress is 6.4.2. Now if there is a new WordPress update, you're going to see it in the update session, and what you need to do is install it. Now if you're working with a plugin, any plugin with an update will be seen here. Any theme with an update will be now your themes are all up to date, because we don't actually have I've not added any new theme here, so we can't see any update. So what the update does is that it shows you just like your phone application, when you go to your Play Store, it will inform you of applications that needs to be updated, right? So same thing applies here in update. So when your WordPress needs an update, you will see it here. When your plugins need update, you see it here, and then when your themes need update, you will see it here. And it's very important that you update your plugins, your themes, and WordPress, because it is essential to keeping it functioning at optimal level and also keeping it secured. But one thing I would like to inform you is this: when you are making an update on your WordPress site, whether you're updating a plugin or you're updating a theme or you're updating WordPress itself, please first of all back up your website before you update. Now in the process, probably in the third video, that is video number 3, I'm going to show you how to back up your WordPress website, so you don't have to worry about that right now. But before you make any update to your WordPress, whether you're updating the WordPress itself, you're updating a plugin, or you're updating a theme, please back up your website, because there's a possibility that when you update your WordPress site, that the new version might not be compatible with either a particular plugin or a particular theme, and there's possibility of it destroying or scatter your website. So it's very, very, very important that you back up your website before you do any updates, because recently someone was trying to build a website and there was an update, and when he updated a particular plugin, he noticed that the whole WordPress site at the belt scattered, and it took him a while before he was able to fit everything back to the way it was. So that is for update. Now for post, now this post is where you create or let me say blog. If you are building a blog site, for instance, all the posts that will be in your blog site this is where you create them. So you want to add, this is the default post that came with the WordPress when I installed WordPress. Now if you want to add a new one, you just come here, add new post, and you'll be able to add a new post. Now categories here is the same thing as the post. So I don't know if you've ever gone to a blog site where they have different categories for maybe different topics or different things. So you can create a category here. So let's say I want to create a category called relationship. Yeah, I can just put relationship and then put a description, add new category. Now when you add these categories, you can now add posts. Any post you make, you can now add it under a particular category. So if I have 3 categories, like here we have uncategorized. So let's imagine I have uncategorized here, I have relationship, I have leadership, I have finance, and so on and so forth. Now I have created about 4 or 5 categories. Now when I come here to create posts, I can now decide to add any of these posts under a particular category. Like now if you look at this post called hello world, this hello world is under the category uncategorized, which is the uncategorized we have here. So if you have any other categories here, you can add your post to your category. Now the media is where you upload images, documents, or any files. So it could be an image, could be a video, it could be a PDF, any files. So when you upload them, they are stored here. So it's not like when you upload it, they are gone. They are always stored here. So if you click on add new media file, to take you into your file directory where you get to add images and stuff. So if you're building a site on WordPress, you need to add images. You come here to get that done. So that's it for media. Now the pages, this is where you now create different pages for your website. So this is where you can have your home page, you can have your about page, you can have your let's say contact page, your fact, that is frequently asked question, FAQ page, and many other pages. You get to see us work with this as we proceed. You get to see us work with this. So that's for the page. Now the comments is where you manage all the comments. So if you have a WordPress site where people come and make comments, this is where you manage them. So in this place you can reply your comments here too. You can reply the comment here, and you can also mark some as spam. There's bound to be spam comments on your WordPress site, so you can, as you can see, spam here. So you can spam, you can trash comments, you can approve and stuff. So that's it for comment. Now appearance, this is where you get to add themes to your website. So themes determines how your website should or would look like, right? That is where you come to. Like now the current theme we're using is this. As you can see, a commitment, if you can read this, a commitment to innovation and sustainability, right? And if I check it, I think that is what you should see. A commitment to innovation and sustainability, right? Now let's look at the next item on the dashboard. Now if you look at this part, you can see plugins, right? So if I'm to click on plugin, you should see this on your screen. You might be wondering what the difference between a theme and a plugin is. So many persons or developers sometimes mistaking one for the other one. So you just have to be careful when differentiating what a plugin is and what a theme is. So a WordPress theme is more like a template that determines the overall design of your website. So if you're building a website, a theme determines the overall design of the website. But if you're working with a plugin, what a plugin does is that a plugin is an extra feature, it adds extra functionalities to your website. So if you want your website to have a particular kind of function, you want it to operate in a certain manner, that is when a plugin comes in. Now, for instance, I want to start building a website and I need a plugin to use, right? I've used a couple of plugins and Elementor. Okay, add new plugin. This is where you go to add new plugin. So in the search bar, I'm going to write there Elementor. Now, there are actually many plugins you can use. So far, as a developer with WordPress, I've used about 3 different plugins. I've used Elementor, I've used WP Builder, and one other that isn't coming to mind right now, but I've used Elementor more than any other plugin. So I'm going to install it. Install now. And in a couple of seconds, the Elementor plugin should be installed. Now, if you read what is written here, you see the Elementor website builder has all it takes. So all you have to do is you drag and drop, and before you know it, you can build pixel perfect design. So what pixel perfect means is that if you have a design of a website you want to replicate, you can replicate that website exactly the way it is with Elementor, and it will be mobile responsive. So mobile responsive in the sense that whether the person is going to view this website, whether the user or your audience are going to view the website with a mobile phone, or they're going to use a tablet, or they're going to use an iPhone, or they're going to use small screen laptop. So whichever device they are using, it will be very, very responsive. And as you're building the website, you can also get to enable different features for different devices. So let's say, for instance, on desktop, you want a particular image or a particular text or a particular function to only be visible on the desktop. You can do that with Elementor. And if you don't want that same feature to be invisible, if you want it to be invisible on mobile but visible on desktop, Elementor can do all that. So we're going to see some of these things as we go on. So great, our Elementor plugin has been successfully installed. Now, once you install a plugin, once you install a theme, so this works for both themes and plugins. Once you are done installing them, the next thing you need to do is to activate them. If you don't activate them, they will not function on the website. So you activate the plugin. All right, great. So you can see that it has changed to active. So that means this particular plugin is currently active. Now, it's very important you also check this. Now, if you look at this point, you see here it's written compatible with your version of WordPress. So initially I had said that it's very important to take note of when you're installing plugins and themes to your WordPress site. You need to check for compatibility, because if a particular plugin or a particular theme is not compatible with the current version of your WordPress, there's a possibility that it can bring down the site. It can destroy what you've built so far. So you have to check for compatibility whenever you want to install, and you don't have to activate. You have to check it first before you activate it, even before you install it. So you can always check for compatibility before you install it. Now, coming to users. So users is where you get to give responsibilities and roles to other people to use to also work and modify the website. So for instance, let's say it's a blog site, and you're not the only one writing maybe articles or publishing articles or building pages and the likes. Let's imagine that you're working with a team of maybe 5 to 6 or 10 persons. Now this is where you can come to add users. So you can add new users here and then give them certain roles. Like currently this is me and I have administrative role here. Now you can decide to give them all sort of roles, right? If you come here, you could see contributor, author, editor, subscriber, administrator, depending on the level of access you want them to have. That's what users do. And then we look at tools. So what tools do is that they give you convenient tools to import and export data from your WordPress site. So if you want to export or you want to import your WordPress data, this is where you come to do that. That is basically what this one does. And you can also use it to check your site health. If you want to know your site health, you just come there. It will tell you critical information about your website, configuration, and any items that require your attention, maybe like updates and maybe security issues. That is what site health do for you. And then settings is where your site is configured. So it allows you can configure your site name, how the URL should appear, and many other things. So that's where it does. You can do that. So you can see there, my site. This is my site title. That's what you're seeing. Now, if I go to this other site, now if you look at my other tab, now you see this description here, my site. Now it is because I have my set here. Now if I change this my site to, let's say, Richard Jackson. So let's say Richard Jackson, and I save changes. So it should be saved in a couple of seconds. And so if I go here to refresh, now this place should change from my site to Richard Jackson. So let's see that. So you can see that it has changed to Richard Jackson. So those are some of the things you can do. And the tagline is more like how you want this to appear. Like if I come here, you see that this is /site test. Now if I want this to appear some other way, that is where you can do that here. You can do something there. All right, so these items are not too important at the moment. All right, so now let's get back to our WordPress site. So let's imagine I want to build or design the home page. Let's start by building a website. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to create a sample page. So I click on add new page. Now as you watch this video, we're going to be building a website in the process of while the video is going on. Now as you watch the video, you get to understand how a full-fledged website can be built using Elementor. So like I said, Elementor is just one of the plugins that you can use to build a website with WordPress, but it is not the only one. There are many others, very many others, but Elementor is more like a very popular plugin used in WordPress. Right, so this page, you could just come this. All right, cool. You're gonna see a button at the top that says edit with Elementor. Now what you're seeing here is the default block editor of the WordPress, right? This is the default block editor. Now if you're working with a plugin, whichever plugin you're working with, you always see it somewhere at this point. Now since we installed Elementor as our plugin which we want to use, I'm going to click on edit with Elementor, so that because I want to build this particular web page with Elementor, and you will see something here that says loading Elementor. So it's loading the Elementor interface for us to get started. Alright, great. So this is the Elementor interface, and you can always cancel this if you want, but I'm going to leave it. Now this is what we call the navigator, and it is used to navigate between sections, different sections of a particular page you're on. So what I'm going to do is, the first thing is I'm going to see if I can rename this page. Alright, so I'm just going to go here and then site settings, Okay, site identity, and I'm going to change the site name from Richard Jackson. Let me just use my site. I'm going to leave the description. Now if you have a logo, this is where you add a logo to your website. I don't know if I have a logo I can use, so let me see if I can upload something. Alright, so and then you're gonna click on updates to update the current changes on your website, and this should change immediately it's done loading. Alright, so let's refresh this. Alright, so you can see that it has been changed to my site, and this is the logo or the picture that I'm using in the place of the logo, as you can see here, my site. Alright, so now I'm just gonna quickly add some content to the website. Give your website a layout. So a layout is more like the structure of the foundation of the website. So you're gonna click on container here, and then it just brings out this layout for you. And then I want to just put in some random text there. So I want to add a heading, so I could just click on this, drag it and put it there, and then I could just edit this and say welcome to my website. Okay, so welcome to my website. Let's make it H1, which is a bigger heading, and let's just edit it a bit. So if you want to edit your text, you come to style, and then let me centralize it. So centralize, let me change the color. I need black, so I just drag this here. I think, yep, I think that should work. Okay, I can change the font style. Let's use okay, does that work? Okay, alright, I think that's cool. And then I click on publish. Okay, now so we have this. Let's go back to the other tab and load it up to see if you will see what we're doing. Now if you look at this, by default this is the page we're working on, and it's called Elementor 11. That was the default name that came with it when we created this page, but we're gonna change that. Now if I click on the Elementor 11, it will take us to the current page that we're building, which is this. Can you see that? Welcome to my website. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to try to remove this first of all. We're going to remove this, and then we're going to make this particular page to be the home page. We want this to be the home page. We want this particular page to replace this. That's what we want to do. So to replace this page, all we have to do is I'm gonna copy this. So not everything. just yep. So I'm going to copy this, go on a different tab, load it, and then just type the index.php so that I can work on the same site using different tabs. That's what I'm trying to do. I want to be able to access different tabs on the same WordPress. So I'm going to come to your appearance. At the appearance, we're supposed to see a couple of options where we can change the menu of the website, how it should look like now. Like I said, I want this Elementor 11 here to be the home page and not what you're seeing right now. Right now, for that to happen, I'm supposed to see options in this appearance on the dashboard. But now the reason why we're not seeing this is because there are some themes that comes with its own default configurations that is not enabling us to see the features that I'm supposed to see on this particular appearance tab on the sidebar. So we have to look for a theme that can bring out these features so we can work on the website. I'm going to go to add new theme, and I'm going to add a theme that is called Hello Elementor. Hello Elementor. Now if you look at this, you can see a couple of themes here, and so I'm going to install this, the Hello Elementor. I'm going to install it, and our theme is done installing. Now I've installed this theme. The next thing I'm going to do is if as you can see, our appearance is still not giving me the options that I need, so I have to activate it, and once I do, this should change. And it has changed. So you can see that I now have customize, I have menus. Now the menus is where you can determine, one, the kind of menu you want to have, two, how many menus you want to have. You can have many different, or like quite a number of menus, and then the arrangement and which page you want to be the home page. That's for customize. Yeah, in customize you can decide to put a particular page as the home page. You can edit your header, edit your footer. But let's go to the menu. That's where I'm more focused on. But we're going to come back to the customize. But I think we should start with the customize. Let's start with the customize so that we can set Elementor 11 as the home page, and then we can come back to menu. Alright, so you bring it to this interface. Now I'll get into the other details later, but let's go to menus and home page settings rather. Alright, so it's now asking me which page I want to be my home page. So I'll click on the static page. I want my home page to be Elementor 11. And then I just publish. Alright, so let's refresh this. Now if I refresh this should change to Elementor 11. You see, it has changed, and then we have Elementor 11 as our home page. Now I said we're going to remove this thing here, right? So to remove this thing here, let's go back to the first tab. Now if you look at the bottom left, you will see a settings icon. If you click on that settings icon, it brings you here. We're going to clean this off, and then just come here, click on hide title, because this is the title. So after you've cleaned it off, you can just come here to say hide. Now even if you don't clean it off, and you still let it be, right, you could just simply come here and say hide title, yes, and then you update. and if you refresh your page, you should see that the Elementor hash 11 is out. Hash 11 is out. Now with this, you can see, now don't worry about this logo here. All you need to worry about is that this is the header, this is the footer. That's what you need to worry about. Now let's go back to, let's create 2 extra pages. Now I'm going to add another page. Let's just call this one about us, right? Let's call it about us. So edit the Elementor. So another one has been created. Now let's also create another page. Let's just call this about us. Okay. Oops. Let's save that. Okay, let's go back. So we have about us. You can also rename this to home page, and you can see that it's now front page because we made it the home page in our menu. So let's call it home page. I think I need to create a space there. All right, let me update that and then go back. Now let's add one more page. Let's call it contact us page. So I'm going to add another page. Let's call it contact us. Contact us, and then edit the Elementor. Alright, so quickly I'll just set this up. First things first, I need to remove this, so just come over here to settings and then hide title, yes, publish. Before I publish, let's add something, and then let's add a heading that says this is the contact page. So okay, let's use H12, let's use black, so let's centralize it. Let's use black. Okay, I think that's okay. Let's leave the font the way it is. Let's just publish. Alright, so let's do the same thing for the about page. Pages. So I can just quickly come here. This is the way it's about. Okay, this is about. Edit the Elementor, so it just takes us to Elementor at once. Okay, so we'll do the same thing. So we'll come over here, hide title to remove the about, and then we could just add a container, then add a heading. Just click, drag, then add a text that says this is the about page. All right, so let's just use h1 also, style, let's use it black. Okay, and then let's centralize it. Okay, publish. All right, so far we've created 2 pages so far, the contact page, the about page, and then we have the home page. Now I want this, I want them rather to appear as my navigation here. So I want to see about us, I want to see contact us here. Now to do that, this is where we now go to our appearance, then we'll go to menu. Now this is where we now go to menu. This is where you customize and set up your menu, and then it tells us your menu needs a name. So let's give it a name. Let me call it my website or my site. So I give it my site, so and I click let it be in the header, the location of the menu. I want it to be in the header, so create menu. So after creating the menu, let's save it. Alright, great. Now I need to add to the menu, so I'm going to click on the about us and then the contact us and add it to the menu. And so they've been added. About us should be first, so you just take that yep, just drop this here. Alright, so let's save menu. Alright, so let's refresh this and see what we have. And you can see that we have the contact us and the about us. And then if I click on contact us, this is the contact page, and if I click on the about us, this is the about page. So this gives you an idea of how the website comes alive, or how a website comes alive. Now in the next video, we're going to look at how you can build a full-fledged website. So far you've seen how to install a plugin, install themes, and then create different pages, and then also just add a bit of content to each of the pages. Now in the next video, we're going to look at how you could add images, set up your page, arrange them, modify it, and make it very, very nice.